Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be watching another couple of episodes of Delicious in Dungeon, Dungeon Meshy, Dun Meshy, if you're nasty of course. I believe those are 14 and 15 if my calculations are correct, and yeah, we're pretty excited to be here doing just that. Just as a bit of a update with everything as well, I've got a set of stopping points, kind of. Apparently 16 and 17 kind of go together, then 18 and 19 go together, and 22 and 23 go together. So, if I do 14 and 15 here today, 16, 17 the following week, and then 18, 19 the week after that, that sounds pretty good for me. And then, what would that be, 20, 21? Potentially, and another video or two. I've got a lot of 2 episode bangers coming up, and if I keep doing it the way I'm doing it, where I just watch the episodes first and then come back after the fact and have a little bit of a discussion, then it should work great. Now, if I was to guess, structurally, we're probably going to go back into a little bit of the Dungeon Meshy formula, at least a little bit after what was the end of a core, right, with episode 13 last week. It was that was finalistic, and we're going back to the surface and a bunch of stuff, and there probably should be a new opening, a new ending, stuff like that. So if that's the case, then hey, we're probably not going to be doing massive ramification plot stuff. Or at least not as much. That would be my thought. Either way, the best way to get this video started is to pop over to the YouTube comments, which are here. Hello, YouTube comments. We've got 3 here today. Starting here with Victoria, who has the first couple of comments here. We're starting off a bit memey, of course. We love the jokes here, folks. Farland, your swag too different is not a sentence I thought I would see today, but there you go. And yeah, I mean, this is the what would you say, modus operandi of the entire operation. People watch the series, right? You know, like Dungeon Mesh here, and then they come back here and then they watch it with me because they want to watch more and they want to see somebody experience it as well. And that's what's fun about this whole thing, right? It gives you a chance to relive your favorite shows through somebody else. Hopefully somebody that's at least sometimes a little bit insightful. I'd like to think so. But yeah, I've said it before. I'm really happy with the mix of stuff I have on the channel right now. You know, Utena's going crazy, and the videos are just ballooning in length all the time, which is a lot, right? It's a lot, but the content's really good. But then on the other end of the spectrum, you have Dungeon Meshi, which potentially, again, no slight to this show, just doesn't have as much going on as Utena. Which, hey, I guess you're not quite as insightful as one of the best, most insightful things I've ever seen in my life. So, you know, there's levels and stuff. And Revolution Girl Utena, it's quite heavy a lot of the time, which I'm not, I don't want like 3 really heavy shows all the time that take me to places and that kind of thing. Not that Dungeon Meshi doesn't entertain me and isn't very good and all that kind of stuff, right? It's very, very good. It's just on the other end of the spectrum. It makes me happy, not sad, which is good. But yeah, I guess what I mean is that I just like what I'm watching, and that's half the battle, you know what I mean? And then last comment here from Mish, which mentions that 11 through 13 were shown in a special event by Trigger, where they were pre-screened, which makes sense. Like, hey, those 3 episodes go together, like literally, they're about like the same thing. And yeah, that would have been a delight actually, because again, I think they're 3 of the strongest episodes in the show and flow together really naturally. They're a production delight, lots of fun story details. I'm definitely intrigued as we move forward. Would have been a great event to attend, of course. Now, those couple of comments there were left by patrons, and if you wanted to become a patron and get 1 week ahead, I think when this goes public, 16 and 17 should be on the Patreon. So, again, if those are 2 episodes that interest you in seeing early, you can access the Patreon and that kind of thing. It's up to you, really. Many people have done this, up to and including these names here. Annie Gregg, Mickey Babbers, Trails Plus Plus, Adley, Bobbin, Chobo Ribby, Domobot, Ed, Flirt Nightingale, Fruit, Funny Fat Guy, Gloriana Tenebrae, Gus N, Heath, Ika, Yanko Yavanen, Jacob R, Joran, Clem, Nosta, Lou, Madlad, Max, Mish, Pencil Sharp 333, Ramen Boy, Ronlad B and K, Saint Lily, Sam1373, Skeleton, Surrogate Corpse, Victoria S, Without a Net, Zach, Binchy, Hans Peter, Kelvin, Marsh, and Aidan O'Brien. So thank you to all those people that have given me money on Patreon. I'm still in the process of using that money to buy some audio equipment, probably a better mic and that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. Anything else for the setup maybe? I'm going to Melbourne in like October. I'm probably going to buy some stuff for back there too. Some more books and other accoutrement, for lack of a better term. Anyway, what are we doing in the show? We're going back to the surface, right? Chilchuck had his impassioned plea to kind of Laios, and Marcel doesn't know yet, which is also weird. But anyway, we're being genuine with Laios. We're telling him, hey, we're concerned about us right now as it stands. We know that Farlan is close by, but sometimes the best tact is to go back, reload, and then come back down again. Again, the metaphor we used there from Senshi, of course, was with the spices, right? We need to go back and collect more spices. Thus, we can make Farlan a lovely meal when, we find her again, because she enjoyed the first one so much. So, I've also been alerted that, like, part of the hesitation in eating the dragon was also because it could have included, like, Farlan in it, technically. It's the same deal as episode 2 when I was talking about the flowers. If those flowers are like eating people, right? Is that not cannibalism when we eat the flowers? I don't know. It's a weird one, right? Put it this way: I wouldn't like to eat livestock that have eaten humans. I think that would be weird. I wouldn't like that. But anyway, I'm off track. We're back to the surface, and we're going to see Tansu, I believe his name is, and the Lord of the Island, and enlist his help and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to link those two storylines. Probably meet up with Namari, that kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a small time skip as well, but we will see. I'm going to get that episode up very, very shortly. You can join the Discord and talk to me about Dungeon Meshi and all that kind of stuff. Of course, on the Discord. And what else? Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. You can like the video. You can subscribe. Let's jump into the episode, shall we? Radio, I have episode 14 up there ready to go. 25 minutes and 37 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your copy. It should just be the Netflix sub and everything, and it probably has some Netflix bullshit on it, so if you're syncing up your own copy, just be aware when doing so. Nothing else to say, really, so I'm just going to jump into this thing. Oh yeah, picture-in-picture. Description below if you need it. And yeah, I'm just going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Netflix. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a new opening. I'll say that right off the bat. There we go. I'm excited. Cute. I like the band's name is escaping me, but I like this band. Very pastel-y. I like the colors so far. Ooh, cool wolf. Oh, cute. Yeah. We really like playing with size in the openings too. Alright, what are we cooking? We're cooking ourselves? Ooh, interesting. So those will be some new characters maybe as well? Yeah, this is just glorious. Yeah, let's all hold hands. It's like it's Symphogear all over again. Cute. I love it. That was great. Oh, it was all a dream. I was dreaming about myself getting eaten. Also, helmetless Senshi, which is it's just hot as all hell. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, hello, Tansu. Oh, okay, sure. Weird. I forgot about Kaburu. Low blood sugar. Oh my god. Thanks. Oh, it's the dog guy. I like that guy. Same guys. Oh, maybe they can tell them who it was. Yeah, interesting. I wonder if Namari heard them and can tell them who it was. Ah, we did. And you're charging for the goat is interesting too, right? What? What? What was that? What was that all about? I'm very interested. Wait, was that the oats or something that was in the water? I remember that. For stealing our grain. Okay, we're all gonna meet back in town. Okay. You seem like you got a level head. I hate his party of freaks. Other than the dog guy, I like that guy. Mmm. Well, that's no good. If Company dies again, he's an absolute fraud. Fraud check. Oh, he's huge? Oh no. uh, what is this? The Four Horsemen. What the fuck is happening? Oh, weird. Illusion magic. Yeah, please don't do that. Oh! I was getting that kind of vibe. What an interesting ability. Yeah, I was getting that vibe from those two, especially her. She was like Sundere as. Which one's the spellcaster then? That guy looks like a freak. I was gonna say, you better be sure. Who are you? Wait, aren't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was gonna say. Hoping we'll die again, and that you'd get money off us again. Exactly. What? What, you mean this guy's a scumbag? What? That came out of nowhere. I agree. You're going to prison. Um, I'm not gonna kill someone. What? No. Do you guys not know, like, this character at all? Wait, what? Okay, I don't think you're gonna murder, obviously. Oh. Why would. Okay. I still didn't think he was gonna murder. Alright, whatever. Now we're going. I thought he was a noble knight. Not quite. He may fly a kite. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, if you hit someone in the neck, they'll probably die. More murder. I've got a lust for blood now. I didn't think that this character was going to go this direction at all. Sure. Yeah, you still thinking about that kiss, maybe? Bro had that, like, Witch King drip as well. Yeah, you kill those people, dog guy. I know he has a name. I'm not going to call him by it. Got to get stronger. Interesting. Gotcha. So that's where you come at this from. Yeah, very much as a foil, as a foil for Laios, for sure. Because we're not like them. Exactly. Yes, sir. Oh, not quite as out there as the other meals we've had. They're making a lot of money, bud, for sure. Hmm. Should be easy to identify him, yeah. Well, I don't know who they are. Well, actually, no, I do know who they are. I don't think it's them. Okay. Sounds like Marcel. What? Sounds like a good idea for an anime, huh? How so? Talk to me. Oh! Tord then is a last name, too. They travel with? Yeah. Pretty close to the sister, you say? Something like that. Whatever childhood means in that context. You're putting this together very well for not a lot of information. I guess when you hang around the same taverns a lot, and that's why, obviously, that explains that look early in the episode. You were right up until that last sentence, which is crazy. He's a stinky, stinky dwarf. An Easterner, huh? You got it in one. What about her? Something, something, she needs money? Ooh, uh, interesting. Ooh, bit of racism, huh? Hence why she needs the money as well. I was going to say you're very similar to Chilchuk. It's like he's in like some kind of poker anime or something. That was crazy. All right, you two are kind of weird. From your neck of the woods? Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I don't know about that. Yeah, talk to me about Shuro. I'd like to know some more there. Ooh. Imagine if we just like never see Shuro again. I'm interested because I know who those people are. I guess I never really thought about it like that, but you're right. You give me weird vibes, bro. Okay. So he's like cool. Mm-hmm. I disagree. I think they may be a little bit naive. I agree. I want to talk about this episode, but again, the idea is to do that tomorrow. Just the differences between Kaburu and Laos. Okay, well these guys brought a Kraken last time. Oh. Oh shit, it's a sea serpent instead. I'm not panicking. Oh, he's cool. I like the sea serpent. Who the fuck are you? Who are these people? Who are you? I love her. Who's it? Ah! Punished churro? Let's go! Alright. Let's go. Alright, that was cool as shit. Oh, and then they're just obsessing over him. Who are you people? uh. Wait, are you guys dungeon fooding? Are they all blushing? I don't think she's gonna look like the way she looked before. You being able to interpret that's very interesting, though. Yeah, that's crazy. That's very good, too. We're still hugging it out. That's terrible. I guess we'll check in with them next time. And then UED. What a fascinating episode. I loved that. Bit of an indie rock thing. Okay. This is comfy as fuck. I love this ED too. Um, yeah, it felt like an episode of Conversations, obviously. Definitely a calm down off of what we'd had before. But in a way I really appreciated. Feel like a lot of things are clicking into place, both world design wise and character motivation wise. A lot of different parties involved now, which I like. And yeah, that kind of Shura reveal being the highlight of the episode for sure. I'm gonna imagine this is very similar to the last ED, where this will be art from the mangaka, and these are the elves. Yeah, you're the guys from the opening last time. Interesting. I'm gonna need to look up some artists for these songs for sure. I didn't catch the opening artist either. Hello, Farlan. Are you in the ice? Ah, you got a big bird? I'm the biggest bird? What are we doing? Cute. I hope we can return to that at some point and it won't end in tragedy and disaster. But we never know. So yeah, as I implied before, we'll just jump straight into episode 15. But that was fantastic. I loved that episode. It was very very good. But yeah, onwards and upwards with the next one, of course. Radio, I have episode 15 up there ready to go as well. 26 minutes and 45 seconds on this one, so slightly longer than the last episode as well. Picture in picture in the description below. Using the Netflix stuff, of course, should be very similar to what's on there with the subtitle and not the dub title. But yeah, just going to give it a 3, 2, 1 and jump right in. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, Netflix. Yeah, I'll talk about it again tomorrow, obviously, but I've thoroughly enjoyed that episode. And yeah, just straight into this opening again as well. I love the punch mark in its head. Okay, so you have mushroom, you have cabbage. You know what this reminds me of? The opening for Skip and Loafer as well in a weird way. I don't know if it's the style of song or something, or that it's a little bit dancey. Pastelly as well. Another really great opening from last year, I believe it was now. Obviously, a few of those creatures may come to fruition as well, and I believe the vibe in the opening is we're all getting a different piece of the meal and putting together a bit of a hot pot that is also simultaneously ourselves. Oh, that's Delgul and the hand like dancing like the mad magician. That was funny. Yeah, it definitely is very dream sequence here. Like I haven't been keeping up with things very much, like the anime that have been coming out recently. A little bit. But is this just like anime of the year like easily? It feels like it. I don't know. I haven't been watching that much stuff. Oh yeah, you guys are like gonna die soon. Oh look at Marcel. Punished. Oh, they're trying to fuck with us? That's kind of scary. That would, yeah, that would be evidence. Oh my god, he's a Tetris piece. But yeah, that'd be evidence as to that they're fucking with us. Look at his face too. No, interesting. What? What? Oh, gotcha. Okay, so it's like a hunger pang. I thought it was like something else. All right, he's got that dad instinct. What's wrong with them? They should just go to KFC. And where there's water, there's normally dudes. Um, What? This place is crazy. I didn't expect to see this down here. Sure. You're only in the fucking opening, eh? Ah! Alright, maybe not. Holy fuck. Some kind of spore? I was gonna say dryads. I didn't want to be wrong. What is this? Cells at work? What is going on? As somebody who has pretty bad hay fever, yeah, it's pretty bad. What are you supposed to do, Chilchuck? It's like weaponized. Oh my god, look at that bulge. Weaponized hay fever. Oh, he like can't see. That's fun. Where's Marcel? She's just on the ground, writhing in pain. Cool, sick. Oh yeah, good point. What's the only other scent? Or sense? Okay. So these are guys would be like no trouble at all if we weren't like debuffed. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I don't think it is. Oh, that water on the face, it feels so good. What? What is he doing? Oh, yeah, the cannibalism thing. I think it does. Oh. Okay. Mewing fruit? What is that? Huh. Okay. What is happening? It sounds like we're gonna eat something though, so. I liked the method. Shut up. I agree. This thing looks pretty tasty. Again, I don't know about eating like a pumpkin with a human face on it and just like murdering it, but sure. Yeah, this is kind of nasty, but like we're eating things that resemble humans a little bit too much. But again, we can't be picky. Oh, it's like a cabbage. What? Oh, yep. Wonderful idea. Very low calorie as well. I don't know about the melted cheese. Jack-o'-lantern porridge. Does that even say porridge, or am I blind as fuck? Maybe. I agree. Just like eating human brain. What did we do with the pollen? Did I see that? Anyway. Because that's like a spice of some kind, right? Because it's like burning their eyes. Yeah. God. Yeah, Marcel's definitely changed. Just happily eating like this crime against nature. Okay, Senshi, you achieved your goal. Good lad. Okay. Uh, I don't know if he should learn magic. Okay, no, okay, healing a defense. Marcel's insane. What is this about different magic systems too? That was kind of crazy. I agree with that in sentiment. Yes. Yeah, the age thing again. Did he? I forget about that. The birds and the bees? Yeah, what is this? uh, funny. Oh yeah, okay. They're both of them are teaching. I don't think Chilchuck needs to know about the birds and the bees. I think he's okay. What happened to your ear? Oh, we're doing the healing thing. Gotcha. I love this. I hope I talk about this tomorrow. Kind of like the magic is running in a circle, right? Where else have we seen circles? Circle of life. What is the basis of the dungeon? That means it's healing. Because I scratched the scab. Well, if Farland's good like that, then, well, maybe. What was their last name again? Tor something? Oh, yeah, the last time you got healed, it was very painful. He doesn't like his titties feeling touched? Alright. Oh. I think he needs to improve in all things, really, but. Oh. Well, that sounds pretty bad. What are you talking about? Okay. Yeah. Oh. This is crazy lore. Well, that explains that as well. Why she can now be commanded very easily by what's her face or what's his face, excuse me. Yeah, that looks like infinity. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, he just like fainted. Oh my god, he's turning purple. Okay, I'll stay put. He's high. Okay. Those are interesting lines as well. Uh, we're being separated from my boy Laios. Um, uh, that's classic too. Hello, cockatrice. Yeah, this dude is terrifying. Yeah, I'm already terrified of birds. That thing? No. Oh, look at this shot. Oh shit, that was cool. Yeah, use your foot to shut the door. Why not? I agree. Oh, you took out both heads at the same time, I remember. Oh yeah, you gotta we looked big too. Alright, time to be intimidating, Marcel. I would never say you're very intimidating. Also get the cape out, yeah, like that. That's really great too. Yeah, kind of mirroring. Yeah, that was fantastic. You're adorable. Well, I tell you what, she did look kind of intimidating in episode 12 when she was doing that ancient magic shit. Uh, Where did he get an axe from? He must have just picked it up somewhere. Yeah. Hopefully that's not like a snake from Australia. All right, we won. Where did it bite me? Probably there. Please, I'm gonna imagine you would say, you would explain. Huh? What is going on? That's great. Well, if she topples, that'll be bad, actually. I'm sure you know of a way. How long's that? How fast is fast? Well, I know some other adventurers that may be close by. I don't know if I trust that. About 3 years. Uh, do some cooking in the meantime. Or like lay her down on her side or something. Yeah, that's bad. What is she doing? Oh yeah, we're trying not to let her topple. Gotcha. I like that she's in that stereotypical straight man pose, which has been her character up to now. It's just very funny. Uh, Laos is foaming at the mouth. It's a really interesting development with him learning magic. All right, she's back. We did it. Saved. Where are my eyelashes on one of my eyes? Yeah, I'll need to go back and check what we were making, but I think we smoked something or something. I agree. I'm very surprised we're still here. Yeah, thank you. Or we're going to subvert. Fermentation, that's what we're doing. Be that as it may, Dungeon Meshi. Yeah, as I was just saying, I'm very surprised we're still here. That's kind of crazy to me. But I guess the party's coming to us, right? Because Tansu and Co are around. We have Kablaru and Shuro around as well now, so there's no need to go back up to the surface now. We can kind of restock by ourselves once we meet up with them at some point. I think that's the direction we're going, which is interesting. What else did I have to say? Marcel was a star this episode. I really liked her. She was very, she was very cute, and just like a good character and stuff as well. Um, yeah, this Laios learning magic development is interesting as well. I wonder if there's something with, would I say, that line of that family that has something to do with magic that hasn't been revealed yet. Is that anything? Maybe. We're getting nice little soft confirmations about other stuff as well as we go, like like the elves and the kind of origins of the dungeon, and I really like some of the stuff about infinity and magic that we are talking about today as well, because you can talk into some thematic stuff which I find interesting. And yeah, the mad magician's definitely fucking with them, right? By like sending monsters their way and making the path weird and that kind of stuff. That's what I would think. And yeah, as I was talking about before, I'm going to stop here and I will return tomorrow and I will talk about the show in a lot more detail. There is a lot to say, which is great. I love when there's a lot to say about this show. The two episodes were wildly different. We're still very much doing the dungeon meshy thing, but again with a lot more stakes and focus now that and a lot more sense of location as well. I feel like as the show has gone on, it's just been leaps and bounds better at that kind of stuff. But yeah, again, more detail tomorrow for me to dive into the show some more. So yeah, looking forward to it. I'll see you guys then. And we're back. It's the next day. We're here to look at another couple of episodes of Dungeon Meshi here, of course. Oh, not another couple, but you know what I mean. We're going to look at the two I just watched before in the video that was yesterday. Anyway, I'm rambling. I thought they were great. I thought they were really, really great. I was going to say the show may have faced some challenges after episodes 11 through 13, right? Considering how contiguous it was, how high stakes it was. It essentially solved the mystery of the first arc, essentially, around Farlin, and, you know, the lingering tension in the narrative. That's the goal. We satisfied the goal, and then the goalposts moved, and now we need to get back into, you know, the swing of things again. And I think in a way, in a very smart way, they had their cake and they ate it too. I think very much so we're back to dungeon meshy shenanigans, right? But I think we still got this tension there now, right? I think they've only exacerbated the Farland thing, right? I still really want to see these guys reunited with Farland, right? They gave me a little taste of what joy is, and they swiftly took it away. And as a result, I want to see them maintain joy again. Does that make any sense? I want to see them with Farland again. Where's the most obvious example? Right here at the end of the E-Day. The last shot, that one there. I want to see this again, and that's kind of like the whole conceit of the show now, right? Which is great. Like, I want to see these guys reunited. I am invested in their characters and seeing this come to fruition. I have my doubts that it ever will, but again, that's neither here nor there. Notably, we did two things, one structural, one story-wise, that really surprised me. One, we're not back to the surface. So, when Chilchuck had his emotional stuff in episode 13, which I thought was quite well executed, I'm like, okay, well, we're going to make our way back to the surface, however we do, right? There's going to be a small time skip. We're going to meet up with Namari. Maybe Shuro will get involved, and then we'll reload and go again. Probably skipping through some different levels, maybe, you know, revisiting some other levels and locations we didn't see. I still think there's kind of that kind of treetop jungle area, which I think could lead to some good stuff still. But no, we went in a different direction entirely. We've got the Mad Magician messing with things, keeping our main party kind of separated, well, not separated, preventing them from leaving, trying to get rid of them while they're still here. And as a result, based on the developments of
episode 14, we're going to almost bring the town to them. A lot of characters are converging on level 5 and looking for, I guess, Laios and Farland by proxy, but, trying to meet up with that party for various reasons. Kabaru's probably less savory than others, I would say. So yeah, we're bringing the town to them. We're going to meet up and resupply somehow, but we don't need to leave our location. And I think that's pretty smart. Let's talk about the other structural thing I alluded to before. That's very smart. Episode 14 in its entirety, just the shift of perspective, right? And it's for the benefit of exposition. So, chat room, let me explain to you how exposition works. It is way more palatable for me to hear Kaburu and Rin, I believe your name is, and the rest of them, Dogman and the like, his whole party, talk about Laios's party in the third person than it is to hear Laios talk about it himself. Because Laios would have no reason to talk about himself to anybody in his party, besides maybe Senshi. Like, they know each other. They don't need to say the exposition because they already know it all about each other. It wouldn't make any internal sense. So, yeah, we've picked up bits and pieces, but mostly the dialogue stayed natural to what I think the characters would say in those scenes. Thus, we need to bring in a third party who have a pretty good reason to want to know about this party in particular, that being Laios's, um, to discuss things and what they know about them. And in the process, we learn things about Kaburu and what kind of character he is. It gets a little bit more fleshing out there. It's just very well done. It's very smart. It's comedic. You're introducing a lot of characters in this episode, and I don't think there's a lot of misses there. I think they're all pretty good. Even small intrigue stuff, like there'll be a scene in a moment when I go back through the episode where Namari and Kaburu kind of lock eyes for a second, right? And that comes back later in the episode. Like, oh yeah, I know you. And again, he's putting the puzzle pieces together about who these people are before, we even do that in the show. Again, just smart, very well written. And I'll describe episode 15 in similar terms as kind of getting back in the saddle, so to say. Just standard dungeon meshy stuff. It kind of felt like episode 1 again in a lot of ways, considering how hungry we were and how desperate we were, and kind of this senshi desire to kind of feed us as a concept, kind of propelling us as well. Yeah, just again, a lot to like here. I'm constantly very impressed by this show. It only gets better and better as I've kept going with it. However, I do have a new opening to look at and a new ED. The new ED, less important, obviously. I don't have lyrics to either song, so if there's anything particularly juicy there, please let me know on the Discord or the YouTube comments. But yeah, let's just go through this thing visually, shall we? First, the song in general. Do I know this band? It looked like it was Sumika or something, which I don't think I know. Yeah, Sumika. There you go. It's the Wotakoi OP. Okay, sure. That's where I know this singer from and the band, I guess, by proxy. Yeah, good. Yeah, it sounded good. It almost sounded like Man on a Mission as well, which is another good little band there that I enjoy. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back through this thing visually, starting with the opening. Like right now, I'm going to do that. It's interesting we mentioned Wotakoi as well, considering I'd say the opening has a similar color palette. That opening's very pastel-y as well. Obviously, it's a romantic comedy as opposed to this, which is not. So that kind of visual style is a little bit more, I guess, expected. But I think it fits here. Dungeon Meshi is a show. It's it's a good time. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It's a fantasy show with a difference. I really feel like it's one that can get away with goofy openings like this, and I think they're taking full advantage, right? So the general conceit of the opening is that we're simultaneously cooking a hot pot, but we're also cooking ourselves. It's kind of like a fever dream from Laios as kind of concept, right? So we start off here, we have a dragon, maybe some mad magician type BS, dropping Laios into the pot. Look at that. And when he gets dropped into the pot, he changes his color palette to the pastel stuff, right? And then he punches a fucking mushroom in the throat and then steals it and wants to like eat it or something, which is pretty rad. I like that. There's also a conceit in the kind of construction of the song where you'll hit different notes and different characters will drop in. Of course, there's 4 characters. Music kind of matches up with 4s very well. There you go. Just nice stuff. So then Marcel gets dropped in. She even brings the kind of pastel-y stuff with her on almost, like just another kind of shade of it. Obviously, you have the mushroom, you have the cabbage. We're putting together a nice little hot pot here. Lots of fun little character animation here as well. Then we have Chilchuck here, bringing in a little bit of looks like squid or octopus or something. In particular, I like this shot here because it kind of swings away and then they appear in the background, you know, just nice and natural. And they're happy to see him because they're all good friends. Then there's a big wolf, yeah. Now we're running away from the big wolf and Senshi is hiding behind a big rock. And then we dodge. I don't know if Senshi, like, brings food here, does he? Not that I can see. Maybe I'm dumb. I don't know. This is just a great shot, though. This is one of my favorite, like, relationships in the show now. Just the growing stuff between Senshi and Marcel. Just, you know, character progression-wise, there were polar opposites at the start, and now they're kind of starting to see eye to eye. It's just wholesome. It's really nice. Yeah, look at that. Screenshot that shit. That's fucking fun. I'm gonna imagine this is our cockatrice from the next episode as well. So is some of the monsters here that we see? Yeah, because you're like the dryad lady as well, the plant lady. So can we? Nah, but you're the cockatrice. So what was that other one then? Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe there's going to be another chicken type operator. We'll see. And then, yeah, here's the trippy part, right? Because it started off with like a realistic color palette, Laios dropping himself into the, well, not dropping himself, but getting dropped into the hot pot and then the colors changing. But then we open up the hot pot here and then we're in the hot pot. So it's almost like we've swapped. Like the one that went into the hot pot initially is now opening the next hot pot and then the realistic versions of all the characters in the hot pot. Again, I'm not trying to read into it too hard because it's a dream sequence, crazy fever dream, but you know, there's something there. It's visually engaging, if nothing else. Also playing with size and perspective a lot, something we did in the first opening as well. Which I guess you could talk to about the larger themes of the show as well, and kind of these overbearing presences on the dungeon and shaping its future and so forth. This one here has way more of a focus on the food aspect, as it's, I guess, become more pronounced in the plot as well. We just love putting a bunch of characters on screen as well, I've noticed, between this opening and the last one. So you'll see in the corner there, I don't know who these fucking people are, but behind me, if I do this, you'll see Delgal and the Mad Magician. It feels like a dance party. You know that classic trope where, like, end of like a kids movie, children's movie, like everyone would just come out and do a dance party. It kind of feels like that. It's it lends a level of, I guess, frivolousness to everything, which I enjoy. Like, being deathly serious all the time gets tiring. And I guess if you take one thing from this entire video, it's that. It's that Dungeon Meshi understands how to pace its show, right? Episodes 11 through 13, if that kind of tone continued, I would say it's jumped the shark somewhat. I would say that that's not really what the show sold initially, and now it's turned into something else. We're back on track, and I really like that. So there's moments where, hey, you do take it seriously. There is large-scale ramifications. It's life or death. There's interesting relationships at the heart of everything. But at its core, I think it's a show where people just kind of dance around. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Lots of fun little visual stuff there. There was a ghost up there. Now we see a bunch more characters. Who's this fucking... Oh, yeah, I know this guy. He's the guy that Kensuke came off of. Well, kind of. He looks like a Ornstein from Dark Souls. Yeah, obviously just a ton of different characters here. I'm interested in you. You've been spotted in the first opening, and now you're in the ED as well, in this next ED. You're interesting too, just because I like your character design. Maybe you're just like all the same kind of people. Yeah, because you look like the elves in quotation marks, I would say. Oh, we even get the monsters in on the act as well. Yeah, pause here and look at all the different monsters we fought thus far, and they're probably all here. Got the golems and the dragon and the serpent even. Yeah, lots of fun stuff. And then, yeah, we end with an elaborate sequence, very well animated, of all the characters holding hands. Symphogear style, baby. I'm going to look into the camera. Haven't done this in a while. Watch Symphogear. There you go. That's your homework for today. And then, yeah, from there we kind of pan back up and the dream sequence is over. I will note as well we see Senshi without his helmet on, which is just a delight. And then, yeah, straight back into it, we have a fantastic joke here. So it sets up the premise for this episode and kind of bookends it as well, right? So yeah, we had this lovely touching scene between these three. Remember when you almost had like shoujo face that one time? This is very similar, right? The sparklies, the eyelashes, the strong jaw features, that kind of thing, right? We're having like this shoujo-esque, flowery, lovely, emotional moment over here, whilst Marcel lies dead in a ditch, which was, I wouldn't say it's a criticism, but one of my major questions from episode 13. It's like, is Marcel okay with what we decided to do? We don't really address it, so I'm imagining she was. But yeah, just a really fun visual to come back on. Nice amount of contrast there, of course. And yeah, sets up the premise of the episode. Laios and his crew agreed to head back to the surface. They had a lovely touching moment between the three of them, Marcel not included, and now we venture away from that party and rediscover another. A little earlier we had Tansu reviving our boy, Kaburu. So this is a combination of two various parties we've seen in the past, and a fourth party kind of appears by the very end of this episode as well, just in a very fun way. Yeah, again, making everything connect. It's very cool. There's a lot of information here all at once. Tansu said he used some goat's blood to revive Kaburu, which makes sense with what we know about resurrection now. Need that kind of sacrifice, at least somewhat. Obviously, a lot easier if you've just lost a little bit of blood as opposed to Fallen who was digested, right? You need that ancient magic there if you want to make that happen. Then we have Dog Guy. I know he has a name. I refuse to learn it. Where we mention an elf, a tall man, a half-foot, and a dwarf were the ones that were around here that pulled us out of the water. Then they stole our food, remember? The food that was kind of floating around. We made it into porridge from memory. It was some kind of oat. Yeah, so it's the same guys. Obviously, these guys are getting the wrong read on this at the moment. That, these guys are thieves, and we've seen what Kabaru does to thieves in this episode, but they believe it's the same people from last time with the ghosts. Or not the ghosts, the bug coin guys. An interesting thing to run through the episode as well is the idea of gold and charging for certain things. So we have Tansu here charging for the goat, but not the revival fee itself. So yeah, I'm giving you a deal, man, where in reality, if you were a true hero, quote unquote, you would just kind of do it off your own back, save people, that kind of thing. We'll contrast this against Laios later in the episode, of course. It seems like Kabaru and the gang kind of suck. They lost to the fish guys. Not that the fish guys are easy beats by any means, but I've only seen them twice and they've lost twice. I think the end of the episode where he beats up those grifter guys, as well as it kind of helps with the serpent a little bit. That did a lot to redeem him in my eyes, that he actually is somewhat capable. Otherwise, it would have been a lot of L's in a row. He notices Namari here, which is something I mentioned before, and we'll talk to that when it comes up. Just know that he notices her and recognizes her. This was a vibe from before, but we have Rin, I believe her name is, which secretly cares a lot about Kabaru. He saw him making eyes at Namari and thought it was, just pure tsundere stuff, like blah, 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 getting jealous, envious, that kind of thing. It's cute, and their kiss later on is very fun. We notice that our supplies have been stolen, again by our main party, and we decide to head back up to the surface. That's the first port of call. And it seems like everybody's on the same page. They really respect Kabaru as a leader here, and we'll contrast his leadership again later on. We're literally walking back up to the stairs, and then a fog starts to surround us, right? Something evil is afoot, let's say. So here's my thing, right? I was like, who the fuck is this? Because he's built like a brick shithouse. But we'll see different designs on all of them. Like, yeah. And now I'm like, okay, something's up. I didn't know what it was initially, but I'm like, okay, this isn't what I think it is. This isn't them getting jumped again. And again, I won't leave everybody in suspense too long. We've cast an illusion spell that makes everybody look like a fish guy. So, like, the different designs of the fish guys reflects the different designs that were in the party already. We notice that Mikbel runs away, which is something that they want to do, apparently. It's just showing that Kabaru knows his own party very well and knows their mannerisms, knows the axe swings from their particular warrior as well, and is able to pick up that this is a trick very early. He immediately knows that the biggest threat here is going to be Rin, because she's kind of fucking mental. That's a bad way to put it. She gets scared easily and is also very powerful. She's a mage and is going to strike them all down if need be. Just as I feared, she's chanting something. I need to stop her from chanting something. This is the only peaceful way to do so. It's very fun. I like this. And yeah, she seems to like it too, for the record. Then we need to pick the odd ones out, the ones that aren't my own party and aren't the ones that would cast spells. So I notice that one has a weapon. I take him out because he's obviously not chanting the spell. You have this big gumpy looking guy in the back, this Ninja Turtle looking motherfucker. He's like standing with no weapon off to the side. He's probably the guy casting the spell. And then yeah, all is revealed. Here's this guy from before. Yeah, I was going to say it was these guys, because they had designs kind of. I thought that they would come back. So again, these guys' vibe is they kind of walk around the dungeon and revive people for a fee. It's kind of like a grift, and no matter what, they always get their money. So if they're following these guys around thinking they're going to die again and then see that they're dead, but then see someone comes in on their territory, well, the best thing to do would just be to kill them again and steal their money. So we get our money either way. Now, obviously, morally incorrect, right? We can agree on that. That one's not hard. But what Kabaru does, is that morally incorrect? And again, we're comparing him a lot with Laios. We'll talk about it. There is a lot of offhand context here as well, just in this episode overall. Apparently, if you revive people on levels, some of the early levels, right, there's an island subsidy for doing so, so you can go to the government and claim something for doing that. So they're kind of doubling their money in a way, in a weird way. Yeah, it's fucking random as, but sure, I kind of believe it. A lot of the surface stuff seems very bureaucratic. Like, we've got a lot of the systems figured out up there. And again, this kind of systemic bureaucracy as compared to a lot of the other philosophy of the show, letting nature take its course, the natural order of things, very much separated from humanity. Humanity having these overbearing concepts within nature and on top of nature, as opposed to nature's own grand design impacting it, the kind of symbiotic thing that's happening there between those systems. Very fun. I like that a lot as kind of a microcosm of what's the real world's like in a way as well. Like geography is very important for political stuff, is I guess what I'm trying to get at. This guy describes his ideal situation as being seeing the Kampfler and his gang caught up with the thieves, them duking it out, and then these guys picking off whoever's left and stealing both parties' money. So I mean, that didn't happen, but you're still a scumbag. That's like the worst thing you could have said. In a last ditch effort, we see our kind of grifter friend over here. He says that, hey, you've killed two of our comrades here, or two of them lie dead. So, hey, why don't you take those two corpses up and we can split it, say, 70-30, the profits, right? And we've also mentioned early in the episode that Kablaru and his gang are a little short on coin and need to resupply. So it'd actually be advantageous for them to do so. But this, however, challenges his moral perspective on the situation, and we'll see how he acts. So he agrees to the deal. Kablaru, oh no, goes to stab the guy that was laying unconscious, and instead takes out the grifter guy. Straight through the neck. So, 1. He didn't fall to greed and side with these guys that are obviously the bad guys. Good. That's a good thing that he did. 2, he fucking murdered him for his, I guess, transgressions. Not so good. Not so good. Something that I believe Laios would never do. Never, ever, ever in a million years would you see Laios doing something like this. And again, not that it's particularly shocking to me, resorting to trickery to do so as well, agreeing to the deal and then backhandedly doing something like this. I guess if I was to put them on like that D&D chart, like lawful good, neutral evil, that kind of thing, I don't know where I'd put him. Maybe like a true neutral? No, he's very lawful though. Lawful neutral? Something like that, I think. Or maybe like neutral good? I don't know. Talk to me about that one. What do you guys think about Kabaru as a character? These underhanded tactics come through at the end of the episode as well, when he says, hey, where he kind of puts a lot of stuff together about Shuro and what he's trying to do, and kind of uses him in the process of getting closer to these people that, hey, we've seen what happens to people that disagree with Kabaru. That kind of bodes poorly for our party as well, It's just interesting. We're keeping an eye on him, right? Humans are very easy to kill. Dwarfs, tall man, they all share the same weak points, right? They're way easier than monsters to slay. then maybe this says that you've killed a lot more humans than you're letting on. Another important point to Kabaru's particular set of ethics: I can't forgive people. This guy's on his hands and knees begging them to spare his life, essentially, right? However, you're a robber, you're making decent people leave the island. I care about the island, I care about the society. I'm just going to take you out. There's no chance for redemption here. And yeah, the blood seeping into the water, the hand grabbing the face, it's all very brutal. And yeah, we don't even really talk about it. It's, again, implied to be something that Carpenter does quite often. That's just the vibe I'm getting. Anybody that don't agree with his particular set of ideals and morals, they might face the sword. And then we have Kabaru going on, I guess I would say, a little bit of an unprompted speech about what he thinks about the dungeon and monsters overall, right? So, hey, we need to get back to the Lord of the Island, right? The Lord of the Island is basically using the dungeon as to extract value. That's what he's doing at the moment, right? Let's say that he's like, I don't know, he's like a mining magnate in real life, something like that, right? Just kind of extracting value from the earth, from the environment, and then once it's all over, everyone will just up and leave, right? Because there's no more money to be made. However, Kabaru seems to have an extreme hate of monsters, right? He wants to suppress them at every turn. He wants to lift the curse of the dungeon as opposed to just extracting value and leaving. Again, on the surface, a noble cause. Instead of seeking profit value, which is something that he doesn't do very often, specifically doesn't do, like last scene, we just saw him refuse the money basically. He's way more interested in his own personal set of honor, an honor that I guess attaches itself to the traditional view of a knight in a kingdom, right? You know, the knight's code, the honor there, and that kind of thing, right? He's very much a character built around that kind of stuff. Working for humans, working for honor, saving damsels, defeating monsters, executing them, that kind of thing, right? And we have this visual on screen that I paused on for it, right? These monsters here look like bad news. I wouldn't want to fight these guys. But here's the thing. This, what I'm saying right here, this is a circle of life, baby. And this here is a person coming into somebody else's environment and getting their just desserts in a way as well. Again, the best way forward here would be conservation, any number of other things. Preserving the dungeon, scientific discovery, all these kind of things. We don't want to lift the curse. We don't want to get rid of all the dungeon creatures as well. They're just doing their thing. They're living life. It's all part of an ecosystem. Kabaru is very scorched earth. Some portions of this are bad, so let's eliminate the entire thing. Where again, so much of Dungeon Meshi as a show, ethically, is anti this. Let's take what we need. Let's, symbiotic. Give something back to the environment, take something from it. Think about the golems. They're the perfect example of that, right? We will further contrast Kabaru and Laios later in the episode, so I'll hold fire until then, but it's very interesting that Laios is unsure about this whole defeat the mad magician, become king of the dungeon thing, and Kabaru is all for it. He's almost like that stereotypical male human character in fantasy that kind of lusts for power under maybe the guise of being honorable. Interesting. Again, this episode's great. Interesting that after this impassioned speech as well, we have Rin saying that I'm hungry, and they have no idea how to interact with this dungeon system and feed themselves from it, right? They need to bring their kind of third-party artificial stuff in and do it that way. Again, on the surface, they didn't want to kill those guys, but maybe they would have needed to if they ran out of food. Again, they think that their food got stolen. Well, it did get stolen, but listen, my point being, I don't think they can feed themselves off the dungeon. They don't understand that concept. They don't grasp that value. They don't have a senshi in their party. That's all I'm trying to say. Oh, I forgot about this as well. Remember what I said before about like not liking extracting value and profits? We're literally not going to take their blood money. It's not honorable to do so. We're going to chuck it into the ocean. We're not going to steal their money there. Instead, we'll just take their food because we need it to survive. It's morally correct to continue to exist, so we'll take the food. This is the only real meal we have of the episode in the show about dungeon cooking, and we don't even really cook it. So we're stretching the premise there a little bit, but again, building contrast, this is just like is just like dinner. It's like a normal guy dinner, as opposed to the dungeon food which everybody else eats. The rest of the episode here, I mean, majority of it is just a conversation, so we'll go through at a pretty brisk pace here. But first we bring up the Lord of the Island. It seems like we don't like him very much. There was the vibes, I guess, from the comments and the episode itself, when we saw him before, that he was very much just a figurehead. He's just kind of this clueless guy at the center of it all that's kind of fallen into a position of power and is woefully unequipped to deal with said power. I wonder if we've seen this one before. It seems like without the Lord of the Island's knowledge, or with his knowledge as well, these guys have been operating and working with various parties and slipping between the cracks and making bank in doing so, being morally incorrect. Something we don't like. We would love a strong leader to stand at the top of the society. We don't have that right here, right now. If this guy continues to be in the position of power, then the elves will sweep in, something we brought up before with that conversation with the Lord of the Island as well. And then we get to talking about the party that has taken us out twice, or not taken us out, saved us twice, but also stolen from us. It's weird. We deduce a couple of things very quickly. So we know the 4 races of the people that are with us, right? We deduce that there must be a mage, and that mage must be an elf, considering the magic that they did. We first considered this party. I believe we saw them in episode 2. They were being attacked by the basilisk, I think. Yeah, this was them, which is an elf mage with blonde hair. Not quite. They wouldn't venture down this far. But again, it's nice world building. These guys seem to know each other, which is cool. We have Rin look at the spell here, and she's able to tell us a couple of things. It screams honor student, like it's straight out of a textbook. Now, us the audience know who they're talking about, and that's fantastic, because Marcel operated out of the textbook for such a long time. She still kind of does, right? We see it later this episode, or later next episode, when we teach Laios magic out of the textbook, like literally, like she was taught out of the textbook. Again, contrasted with Farland, who very much wasn't that when she was at school during the little flashback we saw before. It's all coming together. From this small piece of information, Carbaru starts to put together a bit of a theory. If it's somebody from magic school with blonde hair, then it may be one of the Torden siblings. Now, I need to commit this name to memory. Torden sibling, Torden, Laios Torden, Farland Torden, the name we mentioned at the very end as well. But they look kind of intimidating here. They look kind of cool. But yeah, these guys have a little bit of notoriety in the community as well. Now, one of the characteristics was that it was an elf and not a tall man that cast the spell. So it wouldn't have been Farland, but there was an elf that was close by them, right? They seemed pretty close. What could they mean by seemed pretty close? You know, they were roommates, that kind of vibe. Again, we're able to narrow it down very easily. There's not many elves around, just in general, and there's not many elves that have graduated from magic school around. So again, it narrows the pool a lot to basically just Marcel. And then we fill in the blanks from there. They said there was one tall man, but wouldn't the Torden siblings be together? Well, maybe that's why they're in such a small group. Maybe they're looking for Farlet. And yeah, that's like the exact plot. There was a disagreement if we should chase them if they're lost, or if we should give up. That's why the party's so small. I even noticed that some of them had disputes about their income before. Maybe that contributed to the rift. Maybe that's why I saw Namari around before as well. And now they're desperate. They're resorting to stealing treasure and food. Or maybe just food twice, because the treasure you thought they stole wasn't actually treasure. Oh, you know what's interesting as well? Senshi disregarded the gold as well. Remember that from when we were cooking the bugs? Like, oh yeah, you can't eat those, so let's just put them aside, and then we chuck them off the cliff because they're useless. But no, it's actually real gold, no, and then it falls. That's very, very interesting, because Kabaru does the same thing here, but there's a difference. So Kabaru does it as this big kind of grand gesture, right? He's like, no, I refuse the money. I'm honorable. Let's throw it aside. Announces it to everybody that he understands the concept of money and that it's valuable, but wants to be seen as the honorable one for doing so. Senshi, in reality, he just doesn't care. Down to his bones, he's not... Kabaru gives poser vibes a little bit. Just a little bit, right? Where Senshi's just genuinely good, where Kabaru is posing as good. That's the vibe I'm getting, based on this small interaction with the gold. The only mystery is the dwarf, but I guess they just intuit that they picked up a dwarf somewhere along the way. And this is what I mean about the structure of the episode as well. We see this character here, Daya, who is another dwarf, right? And gives a good opportunity to kind of talk about Namari's problems, her stuff that's been going on bubbling away without her needing to say it to anybody. Because, again, everybody already knows that who's been working with her. So this is a third party. We're able to expose the information that, hey, what was it again? Something about her dad? She was the daughter of the arms dealer. He used to control the arms trade on this island. Maybe that's why she knows so much about weapons as well. That would connect pretty well. But one day he was found to be embezzling a hefty sum and vanished. And the lord of the island didn't like that. You're taking my money. Get out of here. All this morally incorrect stuff, you guys keep doing that as long as the money's still there. But this guy that's stealing money, fuck you. They're saying that this is one of the major reasons that the Lord of the Island doesn't like dwarves very much as well, something we saw evidenced in the conversation before, something that the comments brought up as well, that he may just be racist. Which, can happen. Now, my thing here is, I don't think we're getting the full story here. This is the narrative that he was embezzling money and then just vanished, right? But I don't think that's the correct perspective of events. Why was he embezzling money? What did he hope to gain? Will we learn more by talking to more dwarves about what happened? Potentially. Maybe Namari knows something that she shan't say, and is keeping his secret, and it's secretly honorable, and she's taking a lot of this kind of flack on her back for his sake, maybe? Something like that. I just don't think that her dad's a scumbag. Maybe. But again, scumbag. Oh no, he's stealing money from the government. What an evil person. If the government's corrupt anyway, then where's the moral, I guess, problem with that? Anyway, enough politics. Adding on to that, we're just like piling it on with the rest of the party. The dog thinks Senshi stinks or something, and then we think that Chilchuck's the protagonist of what's that shit called? Kakakugurui? You know the one I'm talking about. The one about gambling. He thinks, no, that's not Chilchuck's vibe. He's not like this. Oh yeah, and then Mikbel goes crazy here. Oh yeah, that Easterner, right? Rin, you're an Easterner. Do you know him? It's like, no, I don't know everybody from my country. What? Or like that's my race. Are you crazy? No. What do you mean? That's mega giga racist. Now this one here is interesting for us as well, because up to this point we've just kind of been learning about the party members we already knew about. But now we get to learn a little bit about Shuro, right? One, we see his party here, which is very nicely set up here too, right? But yeah, he joined the Torden party alone as opposed to the rest of his gang, right? He gave off this vibe that he wasn't your average person, and it seemed like he was venturing into the dungeon to test his skills. But then it's like, why would he leave the party then? Could it be because of one of the siblings? Which again is a very good guess that he gets to confirm later in this episode. And then Kabru understands that he's living in a society here, which is very fun. It's like, oh yeah, everybody has their own unique circumstances and morals, yet we're all working together and living together. But that dungeon shit, fuck that shit off. I hate that. Delete all dungeons, humans good. So, anyway, he's just a little bit misguided. Like, oh yeah, the humans interacting with each other from various backgrounds and, intersecting and, communicating, symbiotic relationships, that kind of thing. That's awesome. But that dungeon that does the same thing, but they're filthy animals? Boo! I hate that. What? Kabaru also hopes that he one day meets the Torden's party, right? Because he's seen what they do, right? In the past, Laios apparently made a fortune in gold peeling. That's what we saw during that flashback during episode 3, I want to say, with the Knights, that they were on that initial gold peeling crew. But he was sharing most of his earnings with comrades who couldn't enter the dungeon due to illness or injury. So he's sharing the wealth. That's very noble of him. Yeah, on the surface it does seem that way, right? But his comrades, having recovered, kept taking the money still, right? In the end, they never returned to adventuring and now peddle smuggled goods on the island, right? They turned to a life of crime. Oh no. Basically, because he kept providing for them, they didn't learn or grow or become better, and then got kind of attached to money and gold and fortune and that kind of thing and went down a darker path and a dishonorable path. We've seen how Kabaru deals with thieves. Now, Kabaru's implication here is that Laios is complicit in this, right? By continuing to provide them for money that they haven't earned for themselves. And then he brings up the idea of the kind of king of the dungeon and, the mad magician and that kind of thing. Regardless of whether or not you could truly obtain everything, if it's true or not, this dungeon itself is a legacy left by ancient elves. There is powerful magic at play here. That's why I don't think it should fall into the hands of those siblings. So there's a couple of things going on here, right? One interpretation could be that, hey, you think that Laios was complicit in the bad things that the people that he gave the money were doing, where I just think, hey, you're a little bit naive. That's, neither here nor there. You see the good in people instead of the bad in people, which Kablaru sees. It's not perfect, but I would say it's better than Kablaru for a start. But then the other one would be, hey, they're easily malleable. Like, they don't stand for much, in his opinion, in the same way that I have a strong internal set and code and that kind of thing. These two, they could easily be pushed around by the powers that be, hence they shouldn't wield the power because they'll just become another lord of the island, right? Somebody that's, easily pushed around by money and power and that kind of thing. Both of which is just an interpretation you've got of these characters without actually talking to them. That's, again, we know about this guy, and we know that he would simultaneously be the best king and the worst king. He'd be the best king because he wouldn't be a king at all. You know what I mean? Yeah, we even say it explicitly here. Just like the Lord of the Island, they're indifferent to people. They would be pushed around, they'd be influenced by money, they wouldn't know really what's going on behind the scenes. Again, in contrast to me. Now, this was a very wordy episode, and we end the episode here with a bit of an action scene. Definitely the highlight of the episode happens here. Let's just kind of let it happen. There's like a water serpent guy. It starts off with these fish that we saw before. This was the thing that happened before the Kraken back in the day as well. The fish come up to the surface, they jump around a lot because they're being pushed that way by some other force. Look at this giant fucking sea snake looking guy. He's cool. Kabaru starts to talk to himself. Kind of things go bad there. Rin gets taken underwater. Their cleric guy can't do anything. We need Kabaru to step up here and hit the shot, basically. He needs to aim for the creature's carotid artery, apparently. But apparently, well, no, where's the carotid artery? Another contrast point between Laios and Kabaru, right? Laios knows his shit. He would know where that is no matter what. He has no qualms killing monsters, obviously, as well. He even dislikes monsters immensely, now that I think about it. He's got that whole thing about a monster is a monster. It can never be reasoned with. Isn't that very similar to how the way you think? But he's not scorched earth about the entire ecosystem. Again, there's a lot of interesting parallels there. We can also contrast as well that, hey, Laios knew exactly where that point on the dragon was as well. Something where you're looking for a similar point, but can't see it. Again, we've seen this played out like recently in like episode 11 or 12, that Laios was able to take out the dragon. It was all very good and well. But I should talk about the thighs on screen, because they belong to you. Hello, whoever you are. You throw a bomb in its mouth, which kind of scares it for a second, and then we yell out for Tade, VLC aside, and here's Tade, and we love Tade. She's thick, that's one thing, that's good. She has a fucking, what would you even call that? Like a cudgel or something? She uses it like a baseball bat, and kind of the impact lines here kind of emphasize the baseballness of it all. Yeah, it just, I love her character design. Something about the tooth and the ears and the everything. She says her name in third person. Already a fan. I love that shit. And then the reveal here that, oh yeah, it's punished Shuro at the very end of it all. Somebody who has been very heavily built up. It was just a great moment. I love that moment. We very quickly get the vibe of the party. They're all doting after the young master, especially you. But he's like punished. He's like, no, let's move forward. Very honorable, very, he has a job to do and he's trying to do it. Kabaru then hears contextually from these characters that he's completely besotted by that northern girl, and then he puts everything into place. Interesting that Tade here is the one to say that maybe would eat this with daikon or something, and then they're shouted down by their compatriots. Maybe dungeon food pilled, maybe. I don't know. Kabaru comes over and introduces himself, of course. Is initially brushed aside by Shuro here, but then you're searching for a woman. Are you searching for Fallen Torden? And yeah, these two are going to kind of venture together and kind of try to find Fallen. Good joke as well with the dog guy. And then yeah, on the other end, right, we have these guys still hugging it out. 2 full days have passed and they can't venture forth. They keep finding dead ends. And yeah, that's our lead into the next episode. Then we see the ED here, which I really enjoy as well. Kind of an indie rock vibe to the instrumentation. Oh, even these guys. Oh, That's interesting. And the art's obviously very good. Same as before, the same art as the mangaka. Even this here's just really sweet. They've obviously just bought a bunch of vegetables off Senshi, something like that, and they're using the dogs to carry them around. Again, I hate to sound like a broken record. Symbiotic relationships with nature as opposed to standing over it and scorched earthing it and deleting everything. Yeah, this CD here is it's a grower, not a shower. Did I say that right? Yeah, it grows on you. It's not flashy, but I think it's really great. Like the art's fantastic. Makes me really want to read the manga. And the song just like kind of builds in a really nice way. It's very calming after an episode of kind of craziness which comes along with the territory of the show. But I must get a little bit of a wriggle on if I want to actually finish this recording session, which has been going on for way too long. Oh my god. So let me do the context here very quickly. They haven't been able to escape because the mad magician, I don't know, either like literally or by proxy, has been messing with the dungeon and preventing them from escaping, right? Just keeping them trapped like a little maze, right? Then we have Tetris piece Chilchuck here. He tries to climb up and get some verticality going on, but then there's one of the dragon dudes flying around, so obviously doesn't want to mess with that and turns into a Tetris block to try and hide. A couple of things happen here. One, the red dragon is now dead, so monsters are popping out everywhere, monsters that were in hiding before. The other thing is Laios gets up to try to do something, but then gets like immense hunger pangs or kind of gets lightheaded or something like that. And Senshi's fucking fatherly instincts start to kick in. We haven't had a decent meal since that dragon. And again, relative to Senshi's own age, everybody here is a youngster, at least in his own mind, right? So, hey, I've got to do the like parental thing and provide for the family. It's just a nice piece of characterization, and maybe talks to his initial philosophy in episode 1, seeing this initial party like really suffering and low on food, and then jumping in and trying to help. I must feed them. The youngsters must be fed. Just based Senshi, we love him. Then we use Chilchuck's keen sense of smell to smell out some flowers. If there's flowers nearby, then there'll be water. Where there's water, there'll be monsters and something to eat. We go to a graveyard apparently that has become overgrown, and we see some dried flowers in there doing their thing. It's almost siren-esque, you could say. Very similar to the sirens we saw that were singing in the episode the other day. Ages ago now that I think about it. The horniness here is valid though, because it builds up to a joke later in the scene that I think is quite enjoyable. So it also adds to the parental vibe that Senshi has going on, of course. So we still think that Chilchuck is very young, even though he said he was 29. Again, that's very young relative to you, of course. But we're like, oh yeah, he obviously doesn't know about the birds and the bees either, and was just kind of perving on the flower girls as well. Like, yeah, I mean, that's a read. Definitely not the read that Chilchuck has, right? Through this segment, there's some really, really fun animation. Like, I love this Cells at Work-esque segment here where we see the little Senshis fighting against the pollen and producing all that mucus. And then, yeah, all the sneezing here, especially this wide with, oh my god, it's just disgusting. If, again, anybody here has hay fever, you know that this is exactly what it's like. It sucks. You just can't stop sneezing at all because of all the pollen and that kind of thing. And yeah, again, really fun animation here. Really blocky in this stuff. Again, cartoonish, almost like Cartoon Network-esque. Essentially, the vibe here is that Senshi and Laios are out of action. They both have been hay-fevered, so they can't see out of their watering eyes, and they can't kind of smell, so they've lost a couple of their senses. Then the like really scary guy comes running in here. Where's the scary guy? Yeah, look at this. That's terrifying. I hate that. Chilchuck's quick thinking here was the thing that saved them. Essentially, he put his kind of shirt over his mouth so he didn't get any of the pollen. He can still see for now. He can still smell. He can still use all his senses and is able to call out commands to the other two to strike down the foes. Things are looking bad as the pollen continues to affect Chilchuck here. Senshi continues to say that, hey, I need to protect the youngsters. I won't run away, that kind of thing. Gets a nasty injury on the arm as a result, and Chilchuck needs to rely on his senses. Well, his nose doesn't work because of the all the mucus and the stuff, right? The hay fever. So he can't use his keen sense of smell from before. His hearing is blocked because of Senshi's unending sneezes that are ungodly loud. He's got like that dad sneeze vibe. You know when dads sneeze and it's just like the loudest thing on planet Earth? Obviously, you couldn't hear through that. And he almost uses like echolocation here based on the sneezes to figure out where they are. There's a really cool effect here with the pollen as well. Like just here, right? Use the wind. Yeah, we can kind of see them through it. Very, very cool. And yeah, he's able to decapitate the last dried flower there. Marcel was lying off to the side the entire time, just waiting for them to do their thing and check it out. Like, she's kind of incapacitated now based on the staff. Like, she can't use magic as well. These guys come out looking like this and say, yeah, it's safe to come in. It's like, no, it isn't. Look at you. Like, look at them. Oh my god. And then we get into some of that dungeon meshy goodness. We describe the biology of the dried flowers, how there is very much a kind of male portion and a female portion, even though sometimes they're unisex. It's, each of them grow up into different things, and that kind of, you know, that's how they proliferate their life. Let's say that, right? Seeing this as well gets to, since you talked about the birds and the bees later on as well, we also see these absolute, like, they're like looks maxing pumpkins. They're kind of crazy looking, and when we're eating the brain juice out of it later on, it makes for some really funny visuals. There's also the change in Marcel here, which I should note as well, which is desperation more than anything, but also getting more comfortable with dungeon food, saying that, hey, I don't even care if we're eating something that kind of resembles a human anymore. I don't care. Even though, again, I would still have my problems with it personally. Again, that's another great image. Put that up there with the frog image. That's just fun. Oh, another really great scene here. Very subtle and may talk to some other stuff. Maybe you have family in the past. Because, okay, it seems like Senshi is really taken aback by this particular flower, the one that didn't get to release its pollen, right? It must have been a female flower. Flowers before pollination care for and protect their fruits. Again, this really like fatherly instinct from Senshi here maybe is predicated on something, right? Because we specifically, after this point, don't get to see his face. He learns this information and then is like, I don't really want to pick too much of this anymore. Again, only really take what we need. Again, these are buds here. These will eventually grow into dryad flowers. Don't pick too many. We don't want to pick too many of these. I know we can't be picky. I know we're desperate, but still don't take out the entire population here. Yeah, you'd have to think that's a really subtle moment alluding to something else. I missed that on the first watch through, for sure. That's indicating something. Oh, the axe I borrowed from the orcs. There we go. That was the other question I had about where he got the axe from. We essentially made pumpkin soup with some, like, cabbage, mushroom, cheese things. It looks delicious. I wouldn't eat it out of its head. That looks terrifying. But, pumpkin soup, yeah, definitely. Especially because it's winter here at the moment. That would just like warm you up from the inside. It's really good. We continue to see the evolution of Marcel here, which I continue to really like, right? The pretense of her eating out of this head thing is that it may restore her magic. She still shows a little bit of hesitation, but ultimately just eats the food. She's growing more and more comfortable with the concept of dungeon food. Yeah, instantly she has one bite and then she's enamored. She starts explaining how good it tastes, doing all the normal Laos things that he would do when tasting the food. Now she's in it. She's been ingratiated. Chilchuck may still need some convincing though. What an appalling sight is what he said to eating out of the head directly. Again, it seemed pretty hopeless early in the episode, but after we get a bit of food, Marcel's increasingly hopeful. Look at that. Even though she looks a little bit deranged and disheveled at the moment, she's looking better than she was. Less bags under the eyes, but still ultimately there. On the improve, And yeah, Senshi looks at this, optimistic crew that he has now, and now he's like, oh yeah, job well done. I've provided for the family. Good job, Dad. Thanks, Dad. After eating this pumpkin thing, it feels like, a little bit of magic is returning for Marcel, but that's not going to do it. We need some more magic on the crew. I can't protect all of you from the lunatic magician by myself. Thus, hey, Laios, I'm gonna need you to learn some magic, bud. Just kind of healing and defense magic. She's like kind of crazy now. Something has changed with Marcel, definitely. She's crazy, right? But like more crazy. Like, oh yeah, Farlan had taught me the basics of magic before, but now we're going to take it to the nth degree. You have a pretty good teacher here in Marcel as well. Just kind of learning some healing and defense stuff. I guess the intensity of Marcel teaching magic is matched by Senshi's intensity later on when teaching Chilchuck. But yeah, on the basis of it, they're on the same page. I like how initially she kind of invades his space, but then they come back to a more neutral position by the end. It's like we need to get stronger, looking each other in the eyes. We know the pretense here, right? If we want to save Farlan, we need to become stronger. Thus, I come forward as well. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I agree. Just, again, subtlety. Just a little bit. It's good. So the entire kind of segment, we've had Chilchuck being treated as a child by Senshi, pats on the head and everything. Yeah, would you stop treating me like a child? Well, you are a child relative to me, and let's continue treating you like a child by explaining some new concepts to you. Why did you cover my eyes in front of the monsters? It's like, well, Chilchuck, you mentioned your father had passed away, which I don't remember you mentioning that, but sure. And yeah, if you've had this conversation before, you know exactly where this is going. You're getting to that certain age, it's important to have the correct information. And then, yeah, humans have stamens and pistols, and it's very interesting that we mentioned this in combination with plant people as well, considering this is also, the combination of the proliferation of life in plants as well. So again, the more you know. And then, yeah, Chilchuck realizes where this is going, lets out a blood-curdling scream, and yeah, both of us over here getting taught by various masters at their crafts. You know Senshi fucks as well. Hell yeah. He doesn't have sex, he fucks. Now, the rest of the episode is kind of talking about magic in a weird way. I remember that. Oh yeah, as well as the cockatrice as well. So yeah, we have, Laios putting his magic into practice here a little bit. We noticed an injury on Marcel's ear, and we're trying to heal it, right? Now, in a very spiritual kind of way, we're almost having the energy between the two rotating in a circle, right? From below to above through their arms, and that causing the healing process, getting involved in the magical cycle. Now, we invoke infinity later on as well, and we're trying to get the magic to flow in a circle here. Again, the magic system hasn't been totally fleshed out yet. But I think the basis here is very interesting and thematically dense. I really, really like it. So much of the episode, last episode, was about finite resource extraction as well, and the magic in this dungeon is, I guess, based on the theory of infinity. So there being a never-ending supply of whatever it is you need. And again, that contrast and how that invokes the environment, environmentalism, and the ecosystem as a whole is, again, I can't put it all into words right now without everything in front of me, but it's the basis for something very, very interesting indeed. And I guess yeah, it promotes a worldview that I agree with. Let's put it that way. After just a little bit of practice, it seems like Laios's magic here works wonders. Her wound on her ear starts to scab up and heal, and automatically becomes itchy, something that happens through the healing process, right? We peel off a scab, it starts to bleed out. Hey, you are bleeding, but hey, I ultimately did speed the healing process, which is the first step. Maybe you do come from a talented line of people, considering that Farlan was this prodigy, right? Now, using the same concepts, I want you to heal Senshi, right? So he got a wound on the arm before, but also his chest in general has been kind of crushed from the dragon and so forth. And we have to put our hands on Senshi's big manly nipples here, where he's sensitive. Odd scene, but yeah, very funny still. Marcel emphasizes that whoever the healer is can't be shy because you can't be shy in crucial moments, but Chilchuck here says that you're underestimating the power that a healer has by simply their touch, right? It can cause rifts in parties, cause lovers' quarrels, all that kind of stuff. Different people touching each other on different places to heal them, with the pretense of healing, but then it may evolve into something else. Again, Marcel picks up what Chilchuck was putting down. Are you talking about Farlan and Shuro? Again, we can put together some stuff here. Farlan probably had to heal Shuro. Shuro caught feelings. Obviously, Marcel likes Farlan, so now there's some drama there. Chilchuck denies that he wanted to even bring it up, but just says that there's other skills that Laios needs to focus on first. Maybe some social skills, considering that, yeah, he's not the most charismatic. Oh, no, he's charismatic. He's not the most... I wouldn't say he's a good keynote speaker, let's put it that way. He's not very inspiring all the time. He is in his own way, but compared to Kabuto, very different people, I would say. If he had been able to speak his mind better, he wouldn't have been an unknowing participant in black magic. These two are kind of fighting a little bit, bickering back and forth. Chilchuck, why don't you learn magic? And then, yeah, this is another great opportunity to do some exposition, right? We're framing it through sarcasm, which is a great way to do it. Again, this is a natural thing that the both of them would know. So the only way that the two of them would talk about it together, or one of the only ways, is in knowing that they both know it and bringing it up in, I guess you could say, a comedic sense to prove somebody wrong. So Half-Foots were kidnapped by elves, and then they were involved in some kind of black magic artifact, and now, of course, Half-Feet as a concept have some kind of aversion to magic because of that. especially dark magic, especially ancient magic. This now makes sense with Chilchuck up to this point, I would say. And it's something to watch further when we interact with more and more elves. Well, that's very interesting as well, and something I didn't think about. So, the magic that we use to revive Farland, it seemed to take an equivalent exchange type property. It took in materials from the world and then turned it into Farland, right? Took in dragon guts and that kind of thing. If the magic you're studying is based on a dimension where infinity exists, right? Then wouldn't you just be able to do anything? There would be infinite mana to draw from as well. There would be infinite revives almost as well, because you wouldn't need to bring in that resource. Like using infinite magic and infinite resource, you could do anything you wanted. The world's your oyster. Infinity's infinity. It doesn't end. You can just use it forever. Yeah, so I think you say, not that all magic is based off infinity, like I've been implying, but the specific ancient magic that you've been kind of studying, right? I used similar philosophies in this ancient magic that I did to rewrite part of Farland's body to be part of the dungeon. Interesting. So, this makes me think of a specific line: those that defeat the Mad Magician control the dungeon, right? So, would they then be able to control Farland? And if Farland becomes increasingly important as her magic and latent potential grows, this could be bad news, especially for somebody like Laios. Something, keeping somebody under your control, something, setting them free, something, needing them to die to be set free. Farland's obvious connection with the afterlife already. Lots of stuff there, right? It also speaks to maybe why the Mad Magician has perfect control over Farland now, right? Like, because I've brought in elements of you, the dragon, into you, I was in control of the dragon, I can now control you. Yeah, that's one element of it, but briefly you were part of the dungeon, I control every part of the dungeon, like the Mad Magician is controlling the maze stuff now. I now control Farland almost entirely, and that's why she couldn't resist. That's why the events of episode 13 happened the way they did. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Laios has mana sickness, so now he's going to get like high for a bit, and also is out of action for the next scene with the cockatrice. Yeah, he just gets high. It's pretty funny. It is kind of funny how he sees these different figures though, and they say that, they just want to be let go. The magician is holding us here. Something, purgatory, something, infinite life. Yeah, there's something in this, seeing like shouting people to, take out the magician and let them pass on, in your kind of magic fever dream. Probably alludes to more than we know right now. Oh yeah, look at this scary motherfucker. Yeah, this is great. So yeah, the shot here is fantastic for a, would you say it's dramatic irony? Kind of, just like, oh, behind you, that kind of vibe. Very stage production as well. Almost very hero show. There's a lot to it. Yeah, the Mad Magician's moving shit around again and is going to make our heroes fight something that they don't want to fight right now. You can see this thing as kind of the upgraded version of the Basilisk we fought in episode 2. If you let this thing bite you, you'll turn to stone. There's a really fun first-person shot there as well. Yeah, just great stuff. We also see here that the snake head of the the cockatrice, is able to see through walls, so gets like a heat sensor on it, which is nice. Now, this is a fantastic comedic scene. There's a number of really fun things going on here. So, do we remember the last time that Laios and Senshi fought the basilisk, right? They got really big, and then they cut both of its heads off at the same time. That's how they ended up defeating it, right? So, hey, we're going to force probably the meekest character in the party, maybe next to Chilchuck, to be intimidating, to make herself big and, really scare this scary monster. You're inherently scared of this thing, which is fair enough, it is scary, and you need to look intimidating to it. Yeah, you're forced into something uncomfortable. Good comedy there. I also like how the movements of Marcel here are mirrored by the cockatrice. You could read into it and say something, the dungeon reflects humanity back at it, or, just be normal and just say it's like a fun comedic scene. Yeah, this kind of stuff, right? When she goes like, oh, yeah, how did Laios do it? Wow, and then it gets its hands up as well. Just fun stuff. Again, this is just adorable. You can't frighten people, Marcel. You'll get your fucking head chopped off. However, she gains the courage to come through here and be, intimidating in her own way, the most brilliant female student in the school's history. This is how she scares people, with big explosion. That's pretty intimidating. I wouldn't like that if I was like an animal. That's how cute it go though. They're both kind of lining up each other. We can't quite take out the snake with the axe there. And as a result, both heads now have their kind of eyes on Marcel. The snake bites her, but that's also a good opportunity for the head to get exploded by by Marcel and Senshi to come through on the other head and fucking hit its brains off. Marcel, did it bite you? Well, if it bites you, you're going to turn to stone. So what's the best thing to do when bitten by a cockatrice, right? Now, normally Laios has the answers and there's some kind of method to the madness that's going to cure them, right? But no, in this particular situation, we're just kind of trying to get it into a formation that won't shatter like when she turns to stone, right? However, after explaining that, she gets into this pose here, in that very kind of straight man classic anime pose, and that's a little bit precarious. She may fall over and break a limb, and then that's trouble. Because her center of gravity is slightly off, she may teeter over at any moment and break, thus we need to put this elaborate plan into place to keep her steady. So we're going to use it in the cooking process, but I forgot this part where we explain the different methods. So one, Chilchuck is going to look for other adventurers and herbs that may help the healing process. Pretty good, that's something that he can do. We also could just wait it out. Elves have naturally high magic resistance, so this may just fade out with time. Which, again, fair enough. But then as a last-ditch effort, we've got Laios in the Book of Magic to have a little bit of a read and see if you can figure out this anti-petrification spell. In the meantime, you're going to go fetch the cockatrice and cook some food. And I think the idea is that we use the time here to ferment whatever we have going on. So we julienne some cabbage and season it and place it in a pot, and then put Marcel on top, just keep it sealed. And then at that same time, we soak the cockatrice meat in salt and water. This will cure it, and it'll turn into something else a little bit later on. Like, this helps her stay steady and also helps seal the stuff to help it ferment. It takes 4 days for them to do anything. It's kind of, Laios has spent the entire days kind of reading the book, learning the magic, and Chilchuck finally finds the specific plant that they need, the specific herb to help her. The general idea of the skit is we don't know which of the three actually helped her from being turned into stone, actually saved her. One, the herb was applied pretty quickly, so maybe that was the thing that sped up the process. Two, was Laios's magic actually the thing that did it? It has the most direct correlation. He finished the spell and then she started to be healed. That's pretty plausible, right? Or she's a elf and could have just waited it out, and 4 days is a pretty long time, but also short relative to what it would be for a human. So it could have been any of the three, is my point. And of course, Marcel has like absolutely no idea what's going on. You can even see here slightly that the eyelashes are gone on one of the eyes, which is very funny. I wonder if that's something that'll stick around. And most importantly of all, we have Senshi's little fermentation experiment that has worked, which is great. This one here wasn't translated. I noticed that last time as well. And yeah, what is 431? Is this a sub issue? I would imagine it is. But yeah, I'm imagining this is some kind of cured meat along with a fermented cabbage type operation. Seems pretty yummy. Bit of bread on the side, you're winning. And a nice little comedic spin on the very end of the episode here. So you initially felt guilty about forcing everybody to wait based on getting bit by the thing. We really need to get back to the surface, and I delayed us by 4 days by doing my thing. No, there's something else I should say instead. Again, the normal anime tropey answer would be to say thank you to them, but no, instead she says, you shouldn't use someone as a fermentation weight. Which is also true. Just, yeah, nice little comedic end to the episode. Be that as it may, Dungeon Meshi indeed. That recording session went way longer than I intended it to. These two episodes were really, really good. I'm doing a Utena over here where I've been saying with Utena, like, this may be the best episode thus far, like 6 weeks in a row. These may be the best episodes thus far. They're very, very good. Just really finding its stride. I'm really, really loving the show, and I've been talking way too long, so I'm going to skedaddle out of here. But yeah, lots and lots to chew on these two. Pardon the pun. Discord, if you want to talk about the show with me. Patreon, if you want to be that 1 week ahead. See another couple of episodes of the show. It's up to you. I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, all that jazz. Thank you.